What is going on, y'all beautiful people, man? I hope you guys are having an amazing day today. In this video, what we are basically going to be talking about, oh my gosh, where did that come from? What we are going to be talking about is being able to not fall into what our voice in the back of our head that can sometimes be negative wants us to fall into, which is basically listening to it and believing that we identify with it and believing that that's who we are. So a lot of the times we have this little voice in the back of our head that's basically always telling us, like, listen to me, I want you to believe that you suck. I want you to believe that you are at the whims of your anxiety. You're just bad. Just don't get out of bed, or I don't know, whatever the hell it wants us to believe sometimes. And then that'll kind of just pop up. But what I've realized and what I want to share with you guys in this video is the ability to just be able to not give into that, and how that actually affects you and makes it kind of just go away almost. Yeah, so this is kind of a concept that I've been diving into with this book called Inner Excellence, and in that book he talks multiple times about that inner voice, that voice in the back of the mind, but then also just a concept that I've learned from Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant's meditation coach, which is called the Eye of the Storm, which basically being said that he would go in one of the times that he was actually first starting as a kind of a speaker. He decided to go up he got invited to come up in front of the Los Angeles Lakers after they had won a couple championships. He goes up and he's going to speak, but in the back of his mind is telling him, get the hell out of here. They don't want to hear from you. They don't care what you have to say, anything like that. And what he said is he basically just had to continue to move with that voice and allowing it to be there. That is powerful for every single one of us, because sometimes we kind of demonize that inner voice in the back of our mind. Maybe it is a demon, I don't freaking know, but trying to just allow it to be, it's probably the best place that we could come from. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the greatest place that we could actually continue to make big changes in the world while not being afraid of that little voice that's going to tell us stuff. Because sometimes for me, I would kind of get like a little bit, ooh, I really don't like that it created this thought. You know how we have that intrusive thought where it'll be like this intrusive thought, my freaking arm is shaking. But we'll have this intrusive thought where it's just kind of something that pops up and it wants to stay there. It wants you to be thinking about it, whatever it might be. It might say like, okay, here's an example. Yesterday, I was thinking about, I was doing the facial expression practice, and I was just like kind of like doing that. But then I had this thought of like, because my cheeks started hurting because I was like smiling like that. And I had this thought like, what if my cheek just exploded? And I like kind of thought about it. And there was an intrusive thought that told me like, oh, if you think about it enough, it's just gonna blow it up. Like, it's actually, your face is gonna blow up. It's a stupid thought, like who knows where that came from, but instantly I felt it like, ooh, that's kind of scary. I don't want to like have that thought. But then it stayed there, and what I had to do was, with learning about this, just allowing it to be, allowing it to just be there and saying, okay, I'm gonna like allow you to be, I'm gonna continue to do my thing while that thought might be there. And I just kept going, and it ceases to be there. And it's powerful because basically, this goes for anxiety, this goes for stress, this goes for nerves, this goes for anything like that. Being able to continue to move with that stuff, that doubt that might be in your head. And it's powerful when we continue to move, because then all of a sudden we're not afraid of it anymore. And I felt that with anxiety too. Or another example that you can have is basically like trying to go to sleep. When you're trying to go to sleep, so this is perfect. What we're trying to get to is into that state where you can just keep moving and not entertain those negative thoughts and allowing them to become more. Just keep moving with that negative thought and having yourself just try to be your best in the moment, or just continue to move on. So when I was trying to get to sleep the other night, my girlfriend, she had gotten a foster dog, and this dog was like scratching very loud. It had like some kind of skin condition, and just started scratching. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go to sleep with that. Like, I generally don't know if I'm gonna be able to go to sleep. And it was crazy because it's like, the only thing that I could do is say, okay, I'm just gonna let that be. The fact that it might be a little bit of an annoyance, but I'm just gonna continue to focus myself on God's word. I just kept saying God's word, or just trying to be in the moment, counting up and stuff like that. And eventually it went away. That is what we are trying to do. Like, well, it didn't go away, but eventually I fell asleep getting into that trance-like state. Have you ever thought about it, like, how long do those intrusive thoughts stay usually? Like, that one thought that you have, it usually doesn't stay longer than like a minute or 5 minutes, whatever it might be. I don't know, 10 minutes at most maybe. And then all of a sudden you go back into your day. So if you can allow it, the only reason that it actually lingers is if you have your mind stay on that, thinking about that intrusive thought. So it's powerful for us to be able to do that, because basically what we get to is those negative thoughts, those worries, those doubts, those insecurities, all those things, the stress, the anxiety. What they basically are is just like a child. So I have this niece. She's about, I don't know, she's about like 10, 11, 12 now, something like that. But I have this niece, and when she would come over, and, you know, I'd be talking to the family, talking to somebody, and then she would come over and she would like try to like start poking you, start messing with you, start doing stuff. She would start like trying to like just doing whatever to get your attention. But of course, like when you're talking to somebody, you're talking to somebody. Like I'll go play after, but I'm talking to somebody right now. And what it is, it's like a child like trying to grab onto your back, trying to get you out of focus, trying to take your attention away. But what you can do is, the more that you get used to that, you just start to be able to hold that conversation with the person in front of you while that kid is doing that. That's the same thing with these negative thoughts. You can continue to be a human and be moving in your life while that intrusive thought is going on. And it's so powerful because it's just something that allows you to be like, okay, I can accept that stuff. And the more that you just replace it with good thoughts, the more it becomes that those negative thoughts don't have a hold over you anymore like that. That's what we're trying to get to. So I hope you guys are able to do that today, man. Let me know how your experience is with this currently down in the comments below. Love you guys. Peace.